GLAM, Los Angeles.
Happy spooky season. Ooh, I'm wearing my Halloween, my Scream shirt. You know, it's spooky time.
Wait, describe more about the shirt for the listeners on audio.
Okay, so this is my spooky season shirt.
Okay.
It's bright yellow. I actually wore it when Courtney Cox was on the show because it's Scream.
Cute.
So it says the non-committal club
Dreading confirmation call.
Yeah, since 96. And it's a picture of Ghostface with Drew Barrymore screaming into a phone.
Oh my gosh.
Iconically had to wear a wig for Scream, the first Scream, because I can't remember what she was doing, but she came in.
Yeah.
You know the whole lore behind this, right? Like
Yes.
everyone saw her being promoted in this movie and they're like, oh my God, she's the star.
Yeah.
It's like her and Nev Campbell. And then
she
she
gets
gets
killed.
in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. It's like why I love Scream.
Oh my gosh. So this came out when you were like, what, 5th grade, 6th grade?
Yeah, we were like literal children.
I shouldn't have watched it.
Me either.
It scared the shit out of me. And I remember I had to like sleep with the lights on for so long. But my friends and I did like a video project or whatever. And we did like basically a Scream like version. And I got to play the Drew Barrymore. So
Oh my gosh, you were killed in the first 10?
I was killed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, iconic.
I know. It was
iconic.
Fun. Good times.
Billy Loomis really did it for me. He was extremely hot, in my opinion. So it was, Stu.
Yes.
Stu Mocker.
Yes.
Right? That's his name?
Super hot cast overall.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack.
So it's October 1st, and it's spooky season. So we actually have we have several scary news stories to cover today. But first, a big non-scary announcement.
Yeah.
And we got more BeautyCon news. I guess this is like your official BeautyCon bulletin.
It is. So, okay, the official news, we shared that Kirby and I will be there at Los Angeles Live, and we teased that we had a very, very special guest that we will be interviewing there. And guess what? It's Lily Reinhart.
Woo!
Lily Reinhart. And why? Because she is launching her own skincare brand, and we're going to talk to her all about it. It's called Personal Day, and I feel
really
like
cute.
It's super cute. And you know, she's always been really, really honest about her skincare journey, talking about mental health. Obviously, she was a cover girl.
Yep.
So I'm so excited to just like get into it with her.
She works with Armani Beauty now. It's why
Right.
she's always at the Venice Film Festival with Cammie. When we were looking into the brand before, people pitch themselves all the time for this podcast. And we were like, does it really move the needle? Like, who cares?
Does it make sense?
Does it make any sense?
Yeah.
I really like one of the ingredients in this particular brand because it's kind of proprietary to them.
Okay.
Maybe not solely just their brand, but it's not an ingredient that you see in a lot of other skincare products.
Okay.
And I think they're really going to highlight that. And of course, she has a co-founder, I believe, that's a dermatologist. So she's not just like whipping this stuff up in the kitchen herself. Like she has like a whole really smart team. We looked into it. It kind of reminded me of not Rare Beauty in that it's not makeup.
Right.
But Selena really surrounded herself with smart people from the beauty industry.
Yes.
That knew what they were doing and understood all these different elements of building a brand.
Right.
And it seems very similar with Personal Day.
Totally.
And Lily.
Which is how you should approach launching a beauty brand in 2024 if you would like to be successful. You have to surround yourself with people who know what they're doing, like Selena did. And Personal Day focuses very much on it's not an acne brand, but Lily has spoken a lot about struggling with acne and, all of the things throughout her career being on screen. And so a lot of the products in Personal Day address that. So I'm really excited.
I'm so excited. Sarah, so initially before we knew she was going to do BeautyCon with us, because we wanted to do a live episode, we were going to have her on the podcast. So we were trying to think of, okay, when can we get her in? And Sarah texted me and she's like, would September 13th be an option? And I go, oh, her birthday?
Yeah, I was like, what? How do you know her birthday?
Riverdale girl over here.
Super fan.
I mean, I really did love Riverdale. It was completely off the hinges at the end, but I think that's what made it so great. I think it's having a renaissance too because of TikTok.
Yeah.
People are now sad that it's not on the air because it truly was just absolutely batshit at some point, but I can't wait to talk to her about that and also talk to her about just being so young. I mean, Riverdale was her first starring role ever.
That's so crazy.
I believe.
And the show just like blew up.
She was the perfect Betty. I mean,
and she's just she's so beautiful.
Yeah, we love her.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I know. I feel like she's my child, even though we're like only 10 years older than her. I'm like, it's like Kaylee Bieber. I'm like, my child,
right,
my
our
baby.
Our baby.
So we're excited again. If you use our code GlossPod, right? Just GlossPod.
Yep.
GlossPod, you can get 25% off of your BeautyCon ticket. Also, if you are a student and you can prove that you are a college student or even high school.
Yeah, if you want to go. I was actually talking to the team about that, and I was like, I feel like we need to extend this to the high school students, right?
Yeah. So I'm not sure how it works, but if you can prove that you are a student with some form of ID.
I think it's like if you have like, your college email address or like your high school email address. Well, maybe not your high school. If you can prove it.
Yeah. If you can prove you're in high school.
And you want to come.
You're like, my frontal lobe's not developed yet. I'm in high school.
I also was thinking, I'm like, do they have to come with a guardian? Like, what's the deal?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I'm not
Look
really
it
sure.
Up. Send an email. We
DM us.
Yeah.
If that's the case,
we can't hold your hand through
this. If you're younger than 18 and you are a high school student and you want to come, DM us and we'll figure it out.
But if you're a college student, you can get 50% off of your ticket.
Yeah.
That's a pretty substantial discount in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Even so 25%. Okay. So Sarah, you did something very special recently. Sarah was like, if you ever want to go, I'm like, why do I have any reason to go to this? And she's like, they have a bar. I'm like, wow.
Okay.
Times have changed.
I just wanted to shout out American Girl because they were so gracious to host Zoe's 4th birthday party, which was like a dream come true, not for her, but for me, because I want to live vicariously. I am living vicariously through my daughter. I wanted an American Girl doll so badly, but I only got the Bitty Baby. I think my mom was like, no, those are the American Girl dolls are too expensive. So
what American doll?
I wanted
Doll?
Samantha.
Okay, Samantha. Wow.
What did you have one?
I never had an American Girl doll.
You didn't want one?
Didn't care. I know. This is the thing about the Curbster over
what
here.
Did you?
Y'all think I'm like really into all of these certain things. I don't like Harry Potter, never seen Gossip Girl, didn't like American Girl.
Okay, I also not into Harry Potter. I didn't watch Gossip Girl, but I was into American Girl. Wait, what were you into at the time when your girlfriends were into? Did you collect Beanie Babies? Okay, I also collected Beanie Babies.
I was a Beanie Baby connoisseur.
Matt tried to donate all my Beanie Babies because my parents were like, you need to take this. This is yours now. So I have like trash bags full of Beanie Babies in the garage. And Matt was like, we need to donate these. And I was like, what if this is our fortune? What if I'm going to be rich?
We said that 10 years ago. My mom was convinced it was going to be my college education.
Tag.
Nobody cares.
Protectors. No one cares.
Nobody
but
cares.
I'm going to give it to Zoe when she cares. I can't part with it. Anyways, American Girl. So they used to have a store at the Grove. They moved recently in LA to Century City Mall, which is just the best mall in LA.
It is.
If you haven't been, if you are coming to visit LA, you have to go there. It is 2 stories. It is a dream come true if you are between the ages of, again, it doesn't matter the age because like I said to Kirby, they have a bar. So you could go fully as an adult and have lunch or dinner at the American Girl Cafe upstairs, which is where they hosted Zoe's birthday party. We had a private room.
Wow.
They had little booster chairs for the little dolls. You can pick one out if you don't have a doll. You can bring it in there with you. They start with decorating cupcakes, and then they have little, tea snacks, so like little yogurt cups, cinnamon rolls, and then everyone gets to pick a main course. Their burger is delicious. You can have cocktails. They have a caramel apple martini, some prosecco, whatever you want, and then they have this giant cake that they serve with ice cream, and basically it was Matt was saying it was like little girl like hedonism, like it was just like everything that you were like dolls, sugar, ice cream, like all the things that you could ever want. And so Zoe and her friends were bouncing off the walls, and I told Kirby that I think Kate had the best time.
No, I think Cade did have the best time. Cade was sitting in like the princess chair.
They have a princess chair, and Zoe was like,
didn't want to sit
she was
in
like,
it.
this is too big, and I was like, okay, and Cade was like, Meanwhile, trying to like get into
There's
it.
this video of Sarah took of like all the children eating their cake and ice cream or whatever, and Kate is just sitting there just staring blankly like,
What
is
am I
anyone gonna
doing?
feed me? Like, where's my
It's
cake and ice
what
cream?
am I doing here?
It's so funny.
But it was the best time. We didn't even have time to go to the salon, which I feel like that's where we need to go, Kirby. You can get your ears pierced with your doll. You can have them do like whatever hairstyle you want to the doll, and you can get a matching hairstyle.
It's like bippity boppity boutique.
Yes, it's
Wow.
just like the children. They are so blessed.
I would love to work at American Girl.
I know.
I would love it.
I was like,
I
it's
think
just a
that's-
happy place.
I think all the time how I just want a job where I can clock in and out.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I think
That
about
would be
all
my
the
dream.
time.
I'm like, I'm sick of being passionate. I just want to walk in and be like, I'm a
Yeah.
princess. I'm going to
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah.
And then I'm done at 6 o'clock.
But I have to say, Lydia, to our server, thank you. We tipped her well because I was like, I know you do this all the time, but I'm so sorry. Because she would walk in and there'd be like 10 American Girl dolls on the ground, and like, you know, one had like, you know, icing on the side of her face, and
Absolute chaos.
absolute chaos. But what a great time! Parents had a great time. If you are thinking of hosting your kid's birthday there, you absolutely should. Or if you just want to go have cocktails with your girlfriend,
Get your
It's a
ears
great-
pierced
and get
with
your
your
ears
Samantha
pierced.
doll.
Why not?
Wait. There was a little girl in the photo.
Yeah.
She was to the right of Zoe.
Yeah.
She had a bow in her hair and it was long. Was that the girl you were telling me about that Zoe was like, I want long hair with a bow?
No, but
That was a different one?
Okay, was it the one where she had a headband and it was
Yes.
like pushed up? Okay, yeah, but Zoe loves her so much and she's like the sweetest. Her name is Amelia. But when we arrived at the party, Zoe had her like headband and her bangs like, you know, combed. But then eventually she like started copying Amelia and she was like pushing her hair back, and I'm just like, it's so crazy that like
Starts so young.
starts so young
Wow.
that she wanted to like copy her, but they're really cute together, so it's fine. And Amelia's really, really sweet. But gosh, it's just, yeah, the little girls, they just have the best time. So much fun.
Happy birthday to Zoe.
Happy birthday, Zoe. We're done for the rest of the year until February, when I have to plan Kate's birthday party, which will probably be like some sort of like wrestling something, because he's so intense. I don't know. But thank you, American Girl. That was the best.
Okay, since it's the beginning of spooky season, I want to share a spooky, beauty-centric horror story.
Oh, no.
And honestly, I'm a little... I think somebody needs to check on this person because they are way too chill for what happened to them. So this has to do with Meredith Duxbury, who is a very, very popular TikToker.
Okay.
She gets flown here, there, and everywhere. I believe she's in Milan right now. Maybe in Paris?
I think it's Paris Fashion Week now, but they were in Milan last week.
Maybe. I can't remember where she is, so forgive me.
Okay. I was going to say Meredith Duxbury is famous for like putting on loads and loads of foundation.
10 pumps or
Yes.
more, and then turning it into these masterpieces. And there's always been controversy about whether or not she wipes it all off and starts from scratch, or
Right.
she actually uses all the product. Okay?
Yes.
But she is a beautiful woman.
She is.
And brands love her. And I mean, Pat McGrath
Right.
works with her a lot. I think L'Oreal Paris
Yes.
sponsored her birthday party.
I was on a press trip with her, the défilé.
Yep.
And she was so sweet. And I was like staring at her makeup because I was like, is it? I mean, it's, you know, there's coverage.
Yeah.
But she looks stunning. She's so beautiful.
So she's in bed and she makes this TikTok. And at first I start reading the comments and people are saying, you are acting way too casual about what just happened. This is crazy.
What happened?
So she said that I think maybe she's in Paris.
Okay.
She was running around, jet lagged, whatever. She gets back to her hotel and there's no room service, I guess. So she orders McDonald's through some kind of ride delivery, food app. She ends up falling asleep on her bed because it took forever for the McDonald's to get there. And she said that as she was coming to and from her hotel, she would see this guy behind the desk and he would talk to her and she would talk back or whatever. So she goes, you know how if you're laying in bed, sometimes you just feel like somebody's watching you?
No.
And I'm like, is this a ghost story? And she goes, so I woke up, but the room is pitch black, but I can see that a man is standing over me on the opposite side of my bed. So away from the door. He walked around, came to the opposite side of the bed, and she said she had suitcases out. She had stuff all over the room, and he was holding a Happy Meal. Or not a Happy Meal, but like a McDonald's bag. That's just what I see in my head. He said, I tried calling you several times and you didn't answer. And your McDonald's was here. And she said she's like confused and like, okay, just put it on the table. And I'm going, why are you not screaming at the top of your fucking lungs?
Yeah. Like
that
you
a
were
man
not
entered
welcome.
your hotel room without permission. And she said that it didn't have a top latch thing on there. So it wasn't, you know, she said that she had locked her door, but there wasn't like the top that you couldn't, you know, the little. And so she said she heard him walking towards the door, but she didn't hear the door close. And it's pitch black in this room.
Do you not jump out of bed and turn the lights on? What is going on?
I know. I'm like, I'm very scared.
And she's like, let me make a TikTok about this
I'm like,
first.
I'm very scared about her fight or flight instincts.
Yeah.
Because she said she just covered her face. She said she just covered her face with her blanket and tried to go back to sleep.
What? Why would you do that?
But then she heard footsteps again. And it was the guy. And he never left the room. And she was like, what are you doing here? Like, what's going on? And he was like, can I ask you a question? And she's like, what? And he's like, can I ask you a question? She goes, what? And he goes, do you want to be my friend?
Stop.
And I can't remember what she responded to this, but she was like, get out. And so he left and she shut the door and locked it. And then I guess went to sleep, fell asleep. And everyone was like, did you not call the management?
Complain.
How did this person enter your room?
Right.
This is literally insane.
Yeah.
And she said that she did, that she contacted management or whatever. But I was like, Meredith, the fact that you woke up and there was a man standing next to your bed that you didn't know in the pitch black.
With your food.
That entered your room without any permission.
Right. Like, I've been in...
She could have been killed.
Oh, yes.
Or
worse.
I mean, in my opinion, worse.
Yeah.
I would rather get killed than something else.
Yeah. I've been in hotel rooms where, like, you know, housekeeping comes and they don't hear, and then they'll like come in. But then when you're like, oh, I'm here, you know, they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Close the door. You know what I mean? Or if you're bringing food, like, you'll leave it in front of the door, knock like a bunch of times, and then leave. Not welcome yourself into the room and call if stand over someone in the pitch black.
And if they don't answer, you leave it alone. That doesn't give you an open invitation to enter the room.
I hope that they found this person.
I mean, I need an update ASAP from her, but I am truly traumatized hearing this. This is why I think now TikTok is great about telling you how to protect yourself in hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Because they're like, put a chair underneath the door. The locks are not enough.
Yeah.
Do this, and this. Check for this. Make sure there's not a double-sided window. Make sure there's not a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Make sure it's this. I mean, it's terrifying, but like as a woman, I live alone now. I have 3 locks, bolt locks on my door, and like a chain, not a chain, but like a thing that will keep you from opening it.
Yeah.
And I even bought something off of Amazon to put underneath the actual door handle.
Okay.
That would prohibit somebody from coming in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and every night when I'm like getting ready for bed and I do it, I'm like, what a sad state of affairs that we're in, that I'm doing this.
It's honestly
where I live in a
the
very
worst.
nice, safe area.
Yeah.
Secured entry.
Right.
And I'm still doing this.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
It's because it's the insider people. They have like keys to the hotel.
So I just want, for anybody listening to this, because this was the second video in 2 days I saw about a person trying to enter a hotel room with a woman in there by herself saying they were delivering her food.
Yeah. You guys, on another note, we should all be taking self-defense classes.
Oh, I think about this a lot.
Okay, we should do it because there's actually a really good program near my house.
Great.
Because it's like, I'll send it to you. Anyways, let's all do that. Okay.
Everybody,
let's all
put
practice
it on your
self-defense.
priority list. Self-defense. And please scream if a stranger is in your hotel room. God love her. I would be scared that she just didn't. She was just like, what? I'm going to go back to sleep. I would be like crying hysterically, screaming down the hall.
I'd
calling
leave. I would have
everyone.
left.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I'm going back home.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bonkers.
Oh my God, I hope she's okay. And I hope there's an update.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There probably will be by the time this airs.
Yeah. Okay.
YSL Blush, another spooky story for October 1st. YSL, what's been going on with them? I don't know because I don't get the emails.
I haven't gotten one email.
Apparently, since we last spoke about YSL and the Threads drama of them getting people on the PR list, their agency has said, do not post this on social media or you will be removed from the program.
Okay.
So you're welcome. You're welcome,
all
YSL.
Kirby's doing.
But YSL launched these blushes. I'm sure you guys have seen this. If you haven't, here's the situation. YSL launched these liquid blushes. I believe there's 6 shades. One shade 69, lavender something or another. It is a very pale shade of purple. I wouldn't even call it purple.
It's almost like chalk.
Yeah.
Like it's like gray. It's with a hint of purple.
Yeah, white with a hint of purple in it. They sent them to a bunch of creators of color, and Gloria, the one who is the voice for the community, was like, why in the world would you send me this?
Yeah.
And not just that shade, but really none of the shades worked
None
for her
of them.
because they all had a white base. It was a very similar situation to Rhode in a way where I don't know if this was I can't remember if zinc or titanium dioxide was in Rhode, but the base of it is white. So no matter how you swing it, it's not going to look good. It's going to look chalky.
It honestly doesn't even look good on any of the other, even like lighter skinned influencers.
No. So here's the thing. So with the shade, the argument was, oh, actually, this is for people that are extremely fair and have albinism.
Oh.
Okay. Which, to be fair, some of these bigger influencers like Oceana, it does look good on her.
Yeah.
However,
Everyone else.
does YSL know they made it for those
Yeah.
groups of people?
Yeah.
Because if you go to YSL's website, when they're demonstrating what this shade looks like on skin tones, it's medium to dark skin tones that they're putting it on. That's what the models look like. And you can barely, I guarantee you, that is not the color
No.
that they put on that face.
No.
It is not. That is not the shade at all. It doesn't even look remotely close. And I think it looks even worse on some of the medium skin tone.
Totally. I'm watching Makeup by Monica swatching it on her hand and then also putting it on her face, and it looks really, really bad.
And so then the next narrative was, actually, this is a mixing medium so that you can make the darker shades lighter for your skin tone.
Okay, that's
YSL also doesn't know that, because if you go on YSL's homepage for this blush, it calls it a blush 5 different times.
yeah.
It's not marketed as a mixing medium. It's not marketed for lighter skin tones. It is supposed to be a universal blush shade that's an actual blush. So we need to stop. I think Javon Ford put it best. Why are you guys simping for these brands when they have the money and they have the resources to
100%.
make these things, and then they launch stuff like this that makes absolutely zero sense? And he also called out, you think that YSL cares about people that are extremely fair and with albinism? This is the lightest shade they have. And I mean, it's basically yellow.
Yeah.
So that argument is null and void.
Right. And even Oceane,
Oceane,
who you just referred to, she posted that she was like, YSL designed these blushes to be universally flattering, and they're not universally flattering at all, and they don't work. So even if it looked good on her, that was her review.
Manny MUA had a really great video about color theory and why a lot of the arguments in his comments initially when he tried this, because, you know, he is Latin, but he's also fair-skinned.
Right.
And so people are like, well, you're actually a lot tanner. And he's like, where? Show me.
Yeah.
Like, unless I'm wearing self-tanner, like out in the sun, like be serious.
Yeah.
But a lot of arguments in his original video were inclusivity goes both ways. And his whole thing was, no, it doesn't. Like, not necessarily that it doesn't, but that most of these deeper toned influencers that are receiving this cannot find a shade to save their life.
Right.
But there are plenty for people that are extremely, extremely fair.
Yes.
That's the difference. And I'm just so over this conversation where people are whatabouting and actualing when it's not even true. These narratives that get spun out of control where they're defending a brand. And I'm like, did you even look at the website? Did you even look at the marketing? None of the marketing indicates that this is a mixing medium or meant for just fair skin.
Right.
That's why Gloria actually left the platform for a little bit, because people were saying it's not made for you.
Yeah.
Stop complaining.
Super hateful.
You're negative.
Kirby said she posted something and said the internet has become an increasingly violent space, particularly for dark-skinned Black women. It's heartbreaking and harmful to constantly confront the overwhelming colorist, anti-Black, and racist rhetoric that's directed at us by the masses. I can't believe people are coming after her.
This is the interesting thing to me about her. I think that brands do want to do better. It's right for her to make these videos, because think about it. They send her this product.
Right.
They send her the product.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sending somebody the product, you probably send it because you think that they can use it or you want them to use it.
Yes.
She could just be like, I guess I'm not going to use this and not make any content. So then what am I doing?
Right.
But she's using that for a teaching moment.
Right.
And I think a lot of brands appreciate that. I would love to know, though, and I would love to have her on the podcast at some point. I'm not sure she's based in LA, but I would love to know if any brands have stopped sending her PR because of this.
I honestly think that they probably have.
Or if she's starting to see she's getting more of a specific category versus complexion or color cosmetics.
Yeah. Ugh. It's just really, really, really unfortunate that people are coming after. It's just, I'm always like, who has the time to like fight in these TikTok comments and share such hateful words? Because to your point, she's doing this not just to help the brand do better, but she's educating other people who have skin tone like her, who want to find a product that works for them.
Totally. I mean, even Rose, who we adore, she made a video with it, and Rose is always going to be kind.
Yes, right.
But she's like, I can't even use this as a blush.
Yeah.
And I'm fair toned.
Yeah.
And she used it under her eye as a color corrector. So she's like, if you bought this and it doesn't work for you and you can't return it, there's an option there if you're my skin tone.
Yeah.
But for everybody else.
Yeah.
And in the comments, people are like, yeah, it's actually supposed to do this. And she's like, it wasn't marketed that way, babes.
No.
So, I mean, the thing about TikTok that really scares me is that these narratives get put in comments and then people run with them. And it's not actually anybody that knows what they're talking about. And I very much am a person who's like, you're entitled to your opinion, but also you cannot state your opinion as fact. And none of this narrative around this particular color of blush has been fact for the people that are defending it.
Right.
So a little spooky moment from YSL. YSL, what's going on here? I don't know. I really don't know.
We'd love to hear from you.
We would love to hear from YSL. The door is open. And then lastly, another scary thing.
This really is the spookiest episode we've done in a while.
Yeah. I mean, we had to bring out the spooks.
Yep.
So are you familiar with Alle?
Yes.
ALLE.
Yes.
It is a rewards program from Allergan.
Correct.
Allergan owns brands like Botox,
Juvederm, Skin Vive.
Yep.
Skin Medica.
Skin Medica. Love Skin Medica.
Love Skin Medica.
So this was like a little bit of like a niche tea thing, but I follow this dermatologist, Dr. Subio. Really funny.
Yeah.
And he kind of pokes fun at like the aesthetics industry and what's wrong with the aesthetics industry. And I think he does it in a way that's really educational. And every dermatologist and plastic surgeon that I know loves following him because they're like, yes, he's speaking truth to power. Well, he essentially said that he was not going to be accepting any Alle rewards anymore. I guess because they changed their program. I have never been a part of this program, so I'm not super familiar, but it sounds like if you spend enough money with Alle, you end up getting something in return in the form of maybe a gift certificate for Skin Vive or a gift certificate for 100 units of Botox or whatever. And then you go to anyone that accepts these rewards and you can say, I want to use this. I guess I'm not exactly sure what transpired, but I guess now people are going to be able to go to an injector, let's just say, and say, okay, here's my thing. I want 100 units of Botox. Figure out where to put it. Or I want 100 units of Juvederm, or one syringe of Juvederm, rather. Put it wherever you want. So the client, in turn, is dictating what the professional should do.
Sure.
And I talked to Dr. Samolitis about this because I was like, give me the tea. And admittedly, I mean, she has Botox at her practice, but I use Dysport, and she likes it better for me because it gives me more movement in my face and it's not so concentrated in one area. She was like, we've never accepted Allie because we're not going to allow the client, the patient to tell me what they need.
Right.
I'm the expert.
But also, like, who is going and telling people what to do to their face?
And then on top of that, I guess it's something with they have to foot the bill for it, and then
Allie will
reimburse them product, not money. So it doesned sound like a win for the people that are practicing.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It sounds kind of like, for me, when I heard this situation, I was just like, this is only going to make injectables less enticing in the future.
Yeah.
Because people are going to be getting things that they shouldn't be getting, and they're going to start to look crazy.
Yeah.
And it's going to demonize them even more.
Right.
I think maybe you and I talked about this, where I had mentioned talking to Dr. Sam about how everybody's going to surgery now. How everyone's like, just get a facelift.
Right.
She's like, people that get facelifts still need Botox and filler.
Yeah.
Doesn't replace volume loss. They may need a fat transfer. But what's going to happen now that so many people are saying no more injectables, go straight to surgery, is we're going to see a ton of botched surgery jobs.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be cyclical. And then we're going to be like, oh, actually, injectables weren't that bad. And it's going to be.
Yeah.
So it really does depend on your injector.
I was going to say, I think the lesson here is that you need to find, which we say every time we talk about this, is you just need to find a doctor that you trust and you are willing to accept no as an answer.
Totally.
No, I don't need more Botox. No, I don't need filler. No, I'm not the right candidate for a facelift right now, right? But I'm sure there are people out there who are very much like, I need this. This is what I want. Give me 100 units of Botox or whatever.
Or there's people that go in and they want the doctor to tell them what they need.
Yeah.
And then they just keep doing what the doctor says, which I think is fine if you trust your doctor.
Yeah.
But I've been in situations before I even started getting any injectables where a doctor told me, okay, this is what I would do for your skin, whatever. And then right before I left, he said, oh, and one of these days I'm going to get your lips. And it made me think, do I need lip injections? I didn't ask for those. I wasn't even considering those.
Totally.
And now you're telling me I'm going to get I need lip injections. And then I never went back to that person because it made me feel some type of way.
Totally. I actually was on a press trip with Allergan. It was about Skinvive, which is like the injectable hyaluronic acid. And someone asked one of the doctors, like, what do I do if I'm in a situation where, like, at first I'm like, I like my injector, I like the doctor, and then they say something that I don't like, or I actually stopped liking the work that they were doing on my face. Like, how do I break up with them? And I mean, the whole Allergan team was like, it's okay to step away and to be like, I'm sorry, like, this no longer works for me. Right?
Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid to break up with them.
Yeah.
Don't think that you need, if you like that place that you're going to, it's okay to, like, go to another doctor at that practice.
Right.
There's plenty of faces for everyone.
Yeah.
But they were fully on board with just being like, yeah, if they're, like, saying something that's inappropriate, that makes you feel a certain type of way, leave.
Yeah.
You don't need to stay there.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like, I mean, you're saying Dr. Sam doesn't take, I feel like we don't know anyone that takes it.
No. Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a med spa thing.
It sounds like it might be.
All right. Happy
October
I'm so spooked. 1st. We're spooked. We're spooked by these.